this is something I've noticed with a lot of first time or second time con goers is that you want to do everything and you're afraid of FOMO, all that. But believe me, on the second day, if you don't rest, if you don't take breaks, if you don't eat, if you don't hydrate, you first of all might get sick. Second of all, you might just be a menace to be around, and you yourself won't enjoy the con because you're going to be so overstimulated and overwhelmed. So take care of yourself.
Don't be a grouch.
No.
Oh, do you remember your first con?
Yes.
And?
It was great. It was well, I don't want to like go too much into detail, but it was an anime con, and I went during the day and I had a great time. And I just remember, I think it was around one of the first times I'd actually seen people cosplaying. Like I'd seen people cosplay online, and I always thought that it was such a foreign kind of thing that people cosplayed online.
Oh yeah.
And because this was, I think, before Jessica Negri blew up as Pikachu. Let me see what year she blew up. Maybe like 2007. When do you think that happened?
I have no idea.
But yeah, I think it was like before that. So it was like you'd see a few people cosplaying here and there, but it just seemed like such a foreign thing. And I remember going to a convention and being like, wait, these are characters from anime that I watch. This is crazy. Like people have come to, and especially I'm sure people can relate if you're an older anime fan, where it was, you know, not very cool to like anime. It was not very cool to dress up as anime characters. And suddenly I was in a place surrounded by people who were doing that.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
My first convention was a one-day convention. It was hosted by, like, you know how like sometimes colleges will have like a little convention that they put together by like their anime clubs and stuff. So it was one of those. Before the convention, so some people might know this story.
Oh, I'm excited. Let me know. I'm excited. Give it to me.
So my mom was driving me to the convention with my friend. We were cosplaying and together. And she was like, I need to make a stop before we go to the con. And I was like, okay. And do you want to guess what the stop was? Just throw out a
Well,
guess.
my first guess was gas station, but I know it's like something suspicious. So
Suspicious.
like I'd say gas station, and then what's the store? What is it?
We stopped by my old babysitter's wedding.
Huh?
And,
why?
Because my mom wanted to go to her wedding, but it was the same day as the con. And it was on the way. So we went to the wedding, and I and my friends sat and it was like in her backyard. It was not a big wedding. It was like in her backyard with like maybe 10 other people. And I just remember her coming up to me after the ceremony being like, cute outfit, Mint. And I'm like,
oh.
I was just like, why are we here just to suffer? Like,
why would your mom do that?
Because that's how my mom is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, Miss Madam Mint, but
I have a last name. It's Phantom. But the con itself was so great. I remember, and I think that it helped a lot that it was one of the smaller, like, you know, fan run cons, because it was like very like chill. There was some panels. Like I remember seeing like some really awesome, like there was this one guy wearing like some crazy armor, and I was like, wow. And I was like, it was really exciting. And then the next con I went to after that was a couple months later, but it was one of the biggest cons in North America. So it was like an extreme jump going from the teeny tiny con that I went to the bigger con. But I felt like more okay because I kind of was I had like the taste of the atmosphere beforehand.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm feeling good. Like it was still crazy. It was like, there was so much, there was concerts, there was so many people. Back then, I think it was the first cosplay I had ever made too. So I was like really excited. back to cosplay, don't feel like you have to make your cosplay. You can buy it online. Don't feel bad. I used to make cosplays, but I also bought a lot of them too.
Yeah.
So just do what is easiest for you, especially if you were like so stressed out about making a cosplay. You're like, I'm not gonna make the deadline. There are so many nights that I would spend like up until like 4 a.m. just sewing and crying because my sewing machine was jammed, and I was just like, it was torture. Don't do it.
And don't feel bad if you want to do a lazy cosplay, right? Like maybe you just get a wig and like a black outfit, and that's a lazy cosplay, and that's okay. Right? You don't have to also have it. For example, if you just want to have clothes that kind of look similar, but then you have something that clearly indicates who you are, you know, like one, maybe usually it's the wig, right? Yeah. And don't feel bad, again, if you do not style your wig, if you get a cheap one. We all got to start somewhere, right? We all got to start somewhere. You have to remember, a lot of cosplayers who look insane, that's usually their job. It's usually their job to be doing this, and then they sell prints, and then maybe they get flown in by video game companies to cosplay as a character. You know, don't compare your day 0 to someone's day, 100.
No, actually, that is illegal in 10. North America, apparently.
Comparing?
You cannot have booth babes at like...
Really?
Yeah, I learned that recently, actually.
Because I remember Jessica Nigri, she was like dressed up. I remember there was like a thing. She dressed up as something from like, it was like some chainsaw game. It was like Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah, Lollipop Chainsaw.
And they basically like they asked her to change outfit.
Yeah, apparently you cannot have booth babes at like cons anymore. I don't know when that changed.
Well, it wasn't booth babes, but like usually at conventions, like they can sponsor big cosplayers to cosplay something from their game.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know if
that happens still.
Does it?
I still see it at cons where they'll sponsor big cosplayers to make a cosplay of their game.
Maybe less at anime conventions. Maybe more at like the more industry side of. It's like I feel like it's weird calling them conventions because conventions have like a different vibe than like something like E3 does, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I learned that. It was so interesting because I was just like, I was asking my friend, "Are you going to cosplay?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to dress up."
What?
Yeah, for her booth. Yeah.
Huh? Because then, so it doesn't look like it's a booth babe.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. I'd never known that. I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I also feel like I've definitely seen people like dress, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Huh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like.
No. Hey, don't be sorry. We're having a talk. Don't feel bad if you want to do a little lazy cosplay. You are just as valid as everybody else. Your cosplay is just you can cosplay as simple or as much as you want. Yeah. What else? So cosplay we talked about. If you're going through Artist Alley, I just want to warn you, if it's your first time at Artist Alley, if it's your first time seeing all this anime merchandise or VTuber merchandise, just be strict with yourself. You will spend more money than you realize. I'm sorry. And remember, you have to bring it all back home.
I know, that's the biggest thing, especially getting prints. Like, I love getting prints, but like I bring a tube that I can like kind of roll them up in. It's like a big plastic tube that I just roll them up and then put them in so that they don't get bent in my bag or my suitcase. Super nice.
It's just be mindful. It's gonna happen. Yeah. You wrote something really, really, really interesting about going with very little budget. That is a rite of passage for a lot of people.
And I think, honestly, everyone should do it. So if you're like, I really want to go to a con, but I just have like super limited budget. Like I can't even afford the ticket. If that is the case, volunteer for the convention. Conventions are always needing more volunteers. Like as someone who has helped volunteer at cons before, like it can be really interesting to not only know how the convention works, but like you could also be like, this doesn't work so well. Like, what if I pitch this and they could maybe implement your idea and like you could help improve the convention? Like, it can be really worth it. And you know, if you're just like, I want to go see this guest, I want to see this person, whatever, or do this thing. Like, if you're volunteering, like, you can have the opportunity to maybe get, like, you know, meet them even more. Like, you know, there could be like, you could be volunteering and be put backstage, and you're like, oh my gosh.
And now you're backstage at this crazy show that you've been wanting to go to.
Yeah.
Sometimes for volunteers, they might also provide hotel room or things like that. And again, it gives you an excuse to make friends.
I
right?
have never seen a con that has provided a hotel room. I'll be honest.
I know they've done it for a few conventions in Canada, but it's like you're 4 volunteers in a hotel room. You know,
gotcha.
it's not, you're not exactly just swimming in, you know.
Oh no, yeah. But yeah, you can also make friends with other volunteers, and like everybody's kind of working towards, you know, making the convention awesome. So yeah, if you're just like, I don't know how to get to the con on my budget, try volunteering.
Yep, I agree. That is a really, really good one that you wrote. And honestly, yeah, I would have forgotten about it. To end this, before we get into questions, I wonder if you have any stories that come to mind. But one thing that I will warn and kind of tell everybody, this is going to be like my big warning, is watch out for how much you're drinking. I know. It sounds like, of course, Matara. No, but I don't want to scare everybody, but I have had friends who have been, you know, things were slipped in their drink, both men and women. This has happened at TwitchCon. This has happened at E3. This has happened in a lot of conventions. I know you just met people and you're excited, but be really careful. Another thing. So this is a story that went viral a few years ago. I actually know one of the people involved, but this was at E3. And some girl was rooming with a bunch of other girls, and she just never came back to the hotel room. So all the other girls freaked out, and they raised a big signal and alarm on Twitter. It went viral. The girl ended up going to a casino and turning off her phone. But the next day, when she like turned it back on, there was like this huge search for her. It was so overwhelming. And the problem is, as you all know how things happen when things go viral, is at first everybody was concerned for her and so sweet. And then when they found out she was just at the casino, people started getting vicious because they needed, you know, you can imagine. So let your friends know where you are. Let your friends know if you don't come back by a certain time, if you're safe, if you're not safe, what you're doing. And again, you know, now that story came out, I know some people said like, oh, your friend shouldn't have written about where were you. But the thing is, they were at a party where other people got, you know, drugged. So of course people were concerned. And so be careful. Drink a little less than you realize. If you are drinking, consider drinking maybe in your hotel room with your close ones. It's also cheaper. You know, just be careful, because unfortunately it does happen, and it has happened to people that I know. It does not just happen to random strangers. It happens to people that I know, and it happens to people that you know. Just be mindful, okay?
Yeah, be mindful.
And don't let strangers into your hotel room. They might steal your stuff.
Don't let them into your hotel room.
People might steal your stuff. I'm just telling you, be careful.
Yeah, humans are scary.
I like how we're like, oh my God, make friends, but also don't make
trust
friends.
your stranger. Don't trust. They're still strangers.